Insanity is one of the best-known defences recognised under British law, whereby someone is excused from criminal responsibility because he does not appreciate the nature of right and wrong. But there is another, rarer condition of mind, whereby a man claims quite simply that for a brief moment in his life, his body was no longer the servant of his brain. Thomas Frears, a master at Lime End Comprehensive School, is alleged to have attacked one of the pupils on March the 22nd, 1974. Today, at Fulchester Crown Court, he is on trial for assault occasioning actual bodily harm under Section 47 of the Offences Against the Person Act.
Jonathan, before we start, I want to ask you some questions. Do you know the difference between lying and telling the truth?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand there are times when it is very important to tell the truth?
Yes, sir. In a court.
And you understand the nature of an oath?
Yes, sir. It's a promise to God.
Very well, let him be sworn.
What is your religion?
CV.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Are you Jonathan Ashe of 24 Newlands Estate, Fulchester?
Yes, sir.
And where do you go to school, Jonathan?
Lime End Comprehensive.
And do you know the accused, Thomas Frears?
He used to teach me.
Until when?
Last March.
Until the 22nd of March, in fact.
Yeah.
Yes. Why was that?
Well, I gave him the push for belting me.
Mr. Golding, that is hearsay and it is prejudicial towards the defendant. Mr. Ingram?
I have no objection to it, my lord.
Well, I think we should avoid these remarks if possible, Mr. Golding.
Indeed, my lord. Now, will you tell the court, in your own words, Jonathan, just what occurred between you and Thomas Frears on the 22nd of March?
And, Jonathan, take your time.
Well, me and a fella called Trev were standing there in one of the classrooms minding our own business when Mr. Frears comes in just before dinner.
Yes?
And he asked us if we'd seen what happened to his gear.
What gear was that?
All that stereo gear he uses.
Yes, Mr. Frears used to run musical appreciation classes, I believe.
That's what he called them.
Go on.
So he told him we didn't know what he was on about. And then he tells me to come next door with him, like, you know.
Where was that?
A sort of storeroom.
Just you alone?
Yeah. And then he came on strong all of a sudden. Said someone had nicked his speakers.
You mean the school speakers?
Yeah, that's it. And if I knew what was good for me, I'd tell who'd done it.
And what impression did Mr. Frears give you at that moment?
How do you mean? Impression?
Well, how did he seem to you?
He was livid. Anyway, I said I didn't know nothing about his rotten equipment.
Was that the truth?
Of course.
And what was Mr. Frears' reaction?
Well, he lifted his hand to scare me, like.
My lord, how can the witness possibly know what was in my client's mind?
Yes. Jonathan, you must only tell us what you saw and heard. Do you understand?
Sir.
Very well, Mr. Golding.
What happened next?
Well, he thought he'd teach me a lesson.
Just what happened, Jonathan?
Well, he did.
Yes. What did Mr. Frears actually do?
He lost his temper.
How?
He belted me one with his hand. And then he got me down and put the boot in.
Yes. Now, I want to get this clear. He first punched you?
Yeah.
It wasn't a slap?
No.
How many times?
Twice. My face.
And what did he do next?
Well, he sort of put his hands around my throat. And he kept pressing there till I went down. And that's when he kicked me.
Where did he kick you?
In the chest.
How many times, Jonathan?
Just once. Because my mate Trev came in and took him off me.
Yes, Trevor came into the storeroom and stopped the accused.
Oh, yeah. He could sort out Friers any day.
Yes. My lord, I'd now like to read to the jury the statement made by Dr. Kevin Fisher after attending the witness.
Yes, now, members of the jury, Dr. Fisher is what is known as a conditional witness, and his statement is not challenged by the defence. Well, Mr. Golding.
I examined Jonathan Ashe on the afternoon of March the 22nd, 1974, at Fulchester General Hospital Casualty Department. I found him to have sustained the following injuries. 1, a deep laceration of the upper lip, approximately ½ an inch long, with accompanying laceration of the gum. 2, severe bruising of the neck, especially the region of the larynx, with several accompanying scratches. And 3, severe bruising of the left lower ribs. These injuries could not have been caused more than 3 hours previously. Thank you, Jonathan.
Now, Jonathan, when you told Mr. Frears that you didn't know anything about his equipment, that wasn't strictly accurate, was it?
How do you mean?
I mean that it wasn't true.
I didn't know what his lousy speakers were.
Well, you knew it was the speakers that were missing. Didn't you?
If you want, yeah. Search me were.
And you knew who had taken them, didn't you?
Yeah. You just said they'd been borrowed.
But you said nothing. Now, according to you, Mr. Frears said that you would tell him what had happened to them if you knew what was good for you.
Yeah.
He didn't really say that, did he?
More or less.
Didn't he say that you would tell him what had happened to them if you knew what was best?
That's it. Yeah.
Yes. Then you say he raised his hand to you.
Yeah.
How long did he wait before striking you?
Straight off.
Just like that, without warning?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Did his face look normal?
No. It was... I don't know.
Well, how was it?
Well, sort of shaking.
I see. And how did Mr. Frears behave after your friend Trevor had taken him off you?
I don't know, because Trev said go and fetch someone.
Jonathan, were you carrying a knife at the time?
I don't have one.
Don't you? What are you going to do next year, Jonathan?
I was going to leave, get a job, but I can't now.
Why not?
They put the leaving age up to 16. If my birthday were 3 weeks earlier, I'd have been okay.
I thought you would have welcomed the extra time. I mean, many boys never have such a chance.
What, to sit around for another year doing nothing?
Don't you want to learn anything?
What for? To get a better job?
Among other things, yes.
You only work to make money. You spend it, and then you work again. Till one day you're too old for anything.
What form are you in?
3M.
3M.
Yeah. They're not going to call him ABCD, are they?
Oh, why not?
So then everyone would know was the brainy lot. So I was just called M.
What do you mean?
I'm one of the stupid ones.
Jonathan, has any of the teachers ever told you that you're not stupid?
Yeah. Friers used to. But he's not so clever himself, is he?
It's also true, is it not, that he has always tried to help you get on?
He thought he knew what was good for me.
Is that all?
Everybody does, don't they?
He gave you extra coaching in his own time, didn't he?
Once or twice.
How often, Jonathan?
But remember now.
It was twice a week for an hour, wasn't it?
I suppose.
Yes. And who stopped it?
Me.
Why?
I got fed up, that's all.
With what?
Everything. I mean, there's 2,000 of us stuck up there, you know.
No, I don't know, Jonathan. You tell me.
Well, you're in different streams for every subject, aren't you? Messing about, watching all the notice boards. You never know where you are, and you've never got no regular mates.
So what do you do most of the time?
Piss around. Smash things sometimes if we feel like it. What else is there?
Is that all?
No. We even go to the class sometimes.
Do you think that's funny,
What, sir?
what you just said?
Did I say something, sir?
Is that how you used to treat Mr. Frears, Jonathan?
Oh, no, sir. I always respected him. Just like Trev does.
You always respected him. Thank you, Jonathan.
My lord, my next witness was to have been the boy Trevor Adamson, but I'm told he's not here yet, so I propose, with your permission, to call Mrs. Margaret Ash.
By all means, I should like to get on if possible.
My lord, thank you.
Margaret Ash, please.
What is your religion?
Church of England.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Mrs. Margaret Ash of 24 Newlands Estate, Fulchester?
Yep.
And you're Jonathan Ash's mother?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know the defendant in this case?
Yes.
Mrs. Ash, will you tell the court how you come to know him?
Well, our son were having special courtship with him, you know. Then Johnny stopped it because he weren't going anywhere, you see.
When was that?
Last year. Then January or February it must have been. He come round to our house one night, Mr. Frears did, to tell us we should make Johnny take up with him again. Now, we said if Johnny didn't want to, it weren't out to do with us. But he said at least we should get him to keep up with piano.
Piano?
Yeah. Johnny got it into his head he could learn music, because Frears used to teach him things and keep on him to practice all the time. I mean, as if piano were going to be any good to him when his dad wants him to go into building trade. I mean, that's a proper wage, you know. That's good money for anybody.
Yes, I'm sure. How did this conversation go on?
Well, he said, why don't we ever come up to school and take an interest? He said he knew our son better than we did ourselves. So we said, if that were it, how come Johnny stopped learning with him?
And how did the conversation end?
Well, he said, didn't we care who our son were getting mixed up with? And him all sweating like he'd been drinking for hours. I'm thinking a teacher, that's disgusting.
Yes, what made you think he'd been drinking, Mrs. Ashe?
I know when a man's been drinking.
Quite. And what did you say?
Well, George said he were talking to his father, and who the hell did he think knew were best for his son?
Go
And
on.
you know what that man said? He said he did. Better than we did ourselves.
Go on.
Well, finally, he said if Johnny didn't get a grip on himself, he'd regret what he were doing. Frears said he could make sure that he would.
Now, you're certain of those words? He could make sure that he would?
Oh, yeah. That was when George told him to get the hell out of it. And he did quick enough.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Ashe.
Mrs. Ashe, how many exams has your son passed?
Well, none so far. But we're hoping.
What are you hoping?
Well, it'd be nice if he took an O-level before he left. He's bright enough.
Which O-level?
I don't know. You'd have to ask school about that.
Mrs. Ashe, do you have any idea whether Jonathan takes drugs?
No. But I don't suppose it'd be anything new.
Would it surprise you to learn that he got them at school?
Who from?
Older boys.
Well, I mean, what can you do?
Tell me, Mrs. Ashe, the night Mr. Frears came round to your house, now, was that the first occasion that you and your husband had met him?
Well, no.
When was the other occasion?
He come round there once before.
What did he come about?
I don't know. I can't remember now.
Can't you? Has Jonathan ever complained to you about being bullied at school?
My lord, is this witness expected to know details of what may or may not have gone on at the school?
My lord, you're surely aware that what I asked the witness was not whether bullying went on at school, but whether her son had ever complained to her of being bullied.
Yes, I think the question's a perfectly fair one.
My lord.
I'm obliged to, your lordship. Well, Mrs. Ashe, did he ever complain of being bullied?
I don't remember Johnny ever talking about that sort of thing.
When Mr. Frears came to your house on the first occasion, is it not true that he told you that Johnny had come to him for help because he was being bullied?
No, it weren't that.
You are under oath, Mrs. Ashe. That was the reason, wasn't it?
Look, how do you expect me to remember a thing like that after all this
A
time?
thing like that? It's your own son we're talking about.
Right, I'm his mother, so I should know if anybody does.
Then let me ask you a question as his mother. Is Johnny making a success of his schooling?
It's not my place to say.
You know he wants to leave.
Well, it's not his fault if he's a bit backward, is it? I mean, who runs the place?
He's becoming something of a dropout, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I suppose he is in a way. But he weren't always like that.
Oh, wasn't he?
Not even a year ago.
I know, but Mr. Frears was still coaching him then.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I'd like to move on to the second occasion when he came to your house. You told my learned friend how Mr. Frears said to you, if Johnny didn't take a grip on himself, he was going to regret what he was doing, and that he'd make sure he would.
That's right.
Did he actually use those words?
Near enough.
How could you be so sure?
Them words, but last thing he spoke before he left.
Before you threw him out, you mean?
I don't like to put it like that.
No, but it's true, isn't it?
Let's just say George told him to go.
You must have been very upset.
But wouldn't you be?
I'm sure I should if I were you, Mrs. Ashe, but when one's upset, one doesn't always remember exactly what people say.
Not this time.
After all, you yourself said that you couldn't remember exactly what Mr. Frears talked about on the occasion of his first visit.
But that were different.
How?
Well, he weren't shouting and threatening then.
Mrs. Ashe, do you really believe Mr. Frears capable of threatening your son after all that he's done for him?
I don't know. It sounded like that to me.
Is it not possible that his words were not so much a threat, but more of a warning?
What do you mean?
Mrs. Ashe, I suggest to you that what Mr. Frears really said was not, Johnny will regret what he's doing, I can make sure he will, but I can assure you he will.
Maybe. But it doesn't change what he's done to Johnny.
Oh, I think it does, Mrs. Ashe.
Does your lordship have any questions? Thank you, Mrs. Ashe. I call Trevor Adamson.
Trevor Adamson, please.
What is your religion?
C of E.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Trevor Michael Adamson of 49 Newlands Estate, Fulchester, and a former pupil of Lyme End Comprehensive.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I was late.
Were you with Jonathan Ashe in the school's music room just before lunch on March the 22nd of this year?
Yes, sir, I was.
Will you tell the court anything you saw happen in your own words?
Well, see, Frears, Mr. Frears, was... he asked little Johnny if he'd seen what happened to his stereo speakers, because they'd gone. So when he said no, he took him next door for a private word.
And you stayed behind?
Right. Well, I caught them rapping away in there for about a minute.
Could you hear what was said?
Not Johnny, no, because he was talking normally, but Frears was clear as a bell. His voice goes quite high when he gets excited.
Would you tell us what you heard?
Well, I can't remember it all now, of course.
Of course.
But at the beginning he said something like, if you're ready to destroy everything, that's fine. And then Johnny said something, and Frears said, you know what I mean, your education, your mind. And then something like, music and our friendship. And then Johnny said something else, and Frears said, but when you do it to stereo equipment, that's different, that's delicate. Little Nazis like you must learn that once you start smashing things, there's nothing that can't be smashed, including yourselves. And then I heard a bit of a Barney and Johnny yelling away like a pig, so I went in quick, and there they were.
And what did you see?
Well, the defendant had his hands round Johnny's throat, and as Johnny was going down, he kicked out at him sort of wild-like, and then I stepped in.
Yes, go on.
Well, I kept Frears pinned down, and all the time he was struggling away and cursing me for interfering with his job.
And where was Jonathan during this?
He'd gone. I sent him to fetch someone in authority because Frears was squirming away with his eyes all screwed up. You know, when people don't know how to fight properly, they fight blind, don't they?
Yes. How long did it take him to quieten down?
Oh, about 30 seconds, maybe. Then all of a sudden he went as quiet as a mouse, from Frears.
Yes.
Well, what I was going to say was, I think what really got him was the fact that I'm stronger than he is.
Did you at any stage hit Mr. Frears?
Hit him? Oh, no.
Thank you.
Young Jonathan goes round with you quite a lot, doesn't he?
Quite, yeah. He needs protecting sometimes.
He apes your group's behaviour and attitudes.
It's natural. We don't mind.
When did he start doing this?
About a year ago.
Well, in fact, about the time that he gave up the extra tuition with Mr. Frears.
Well, I wouldn't know about that.
Oh, I thought he went around with you.
I'm not his keeper.
What were you doing that morning in the music room?
Nothing special.
Did you attend Mr. Frears' music appreciation classes?
Music? No, I'll be honest with you. We were having a quiet fag.
Well, we won't worry about a little thing like that, will we? What else do you smoke?
I'm not with you.
You smoke joints, don't you?
Joints, Mr. Ingram?
Marijuana, my lord.
No.
Oh, come on. It's well known that you used to push drugs around the school.
Oh, my lord, will my learned friend tell us the point of this question?
Yes, what is the purpose of this, Mr. Ingram?
My lord, I'm simply trying to give the jury the moral and psychological background to the events giving rise to this case. It's directly relevant to my client's state of mind at the material time.
I see, but get on, will you?
Certainly, my lord. The truth is that you used to run a nice little racket pushing drugs to the younger boys.
No, I didn't.
Oh, then why was it that you were summoned before the headmaster last May? Wasn't that because of your drug-pushing activities on school premises?
What drugs are you on about?
Hashish, barbiturates.
Oh, he never mentioned them. Just the honour of the school, whatever that is.
It means nothing to you.
It's his school, not mine.
You went there.
I go to railway
You
stations.
were quick enough to run to the school authorities on March the 22nd.
Well, that's different. You can't have what Frears did going on, can you?
Oh, so you dislike violence.
That sort, yeah.
And what did you do to Jonathan Ashe when he couldn't pay for barbiturate pills you obtained for him? You beat him up, didn't you?
I lent on him, that's all.
You're perfectly well aware that barbiturates are not merely damaging, but addictive.
It's none of my concern what the little sod does to himself.
Is there another boy in your group called Derek Slater?
Yeah?
Yes. He has a conviction for malicious damage, doesn't he?
Come again?
Or is that another of the things you wouldn't know about?
Yeah, sure, I know.
Violence really does seem to be your scene, doesn't it?
Well, I suppose it's everybody's scene, as you'd call it.
Oh, is that a fact?
You ought to look round you sometimes.
At Lime End Comprehensive, for example.
That'll do for a start, yeah.
Mr. Frears didn't tolerate violence.
Tolerate? He didn't have much choice, did he, being what he is?
And what is he?
Oh, my lord, what possible relevance can all this have to the charge?
Yes, you do seem to be rather far from the central issue, Mr.
If your
Ingram.
lordship will allow me the liberty, I believe I can show the relevance of these questions.
Well, I can only sincerely hope so. Now, get on.
Certainly, my lord. Now, you were going to tell us what the defendant is.
Friers? He's a do-gooder. Stands out a mile.
In what way?
He's the kind who takes on remedial classes.
Oh, what are those?
They're for the Burks who want to learn how to write their own names.
You despise that?
I'm just not on a middle-class liberal kick, that's all.
You don't think education's important?
I don't think his sort's important. It's got no power anymore.
You think Mr. Frears wasn't ruthless enough to impose discipline?
No way. Not with that ponced-up accent. He's too refined, you might say.
You mean he tries to?
I mean, he's soft. He'll take any shit from us.
That kind of language is quite unnecessary.
I'm very sorry.
Gave you a kick to push Mr. Frears as far as you possibly could, didn't it?
That's what you say.
Well, it's the truth, isn't it?
Well, if you want to believe that, it's not my problem.
Oh, and why not?
Because I'm not involved, am I?
That's exactly what you told Mr. Frears when he asked you what had happened to his equipment.
I don't know what you mean.
You knew where the speakers were, didn't you?
So?
Why didn't you tell him?
Because he asked Johnny, not me. I'm not his pet. Project, I mean.
No. Well, let's continue with what happened next. Now, according to you, when you pulled Mr. Frears off your friend Johnny, he started cursing you for interfering.
Yeah, that's right. He said he knew what he was doing.
That isn't what you said in your original statement, is it? Would you like me to have it read out for you?
You want to go through all that again?
I simply want the truth.
All right. If you must know, he was just shaking and gasping away there all the time he was in my arms.
Thank you. Now, during all this, did he at any stage say anything?
Not a word.
Are you sure?
He just stood there gasping like a little kid.
Like a little kid.
He freaked out, that's all.
What do you mean by that?
He blew his mind.
He blew his mind.
Yeah. It's lucky for him I stopped him.
In other words, he would have continued attacking Johnny.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, I thought you were supposed to be defending him.
Well, that at least is not your problem, is it?
You mean you actually want me to say he would have carried on?
Precisely.
The case of the Queen against Friers will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. Thomas Frears, a teacher at Lime End Comprehensive School, has been charged with assault on a pupil, Jonathan Ashe. The boy's mother has testified that shortly before the incident, Frears came to their house and threatened her son. But under cross-examination, she admitted this might have been a simple warning against the consequences to Jonathan of associating with people like Trevor Adamson, at that time also a pupil at the school, who was a witness to the assault. He supplied the younger boy with drugs, and his influence over Ashe appears to have grown, just as the master's declined. Frears pleads not guilty, but the fact that he struck the boy has not been challenged.
You are Thomas Frears of 11 Maiden Lane, Fulchester?
Yes,
Mr. Frears, how long have you been a teacher?
17 years.
And at Lime End Comprehensive?
12.
And for how long have you taught Jonathan Ashe?
2.5 years.
You gave him extra tuition outside school hours, I believe.
Yes.
Why was that?
You see, right from the start, it was apparent, to me at least, that he wasn't really dumb, as some thought. He was just... It's not enough, you see, just to give children more and better facilities. We've got to give them a sense of belonging to society, of contributing, do you follow? instead of just lying at the bottom of the pile in some invisible corporation's workforce. That's where the comprehensives have failed. A real education, you see, wouldn't produce people just to slot into the system without thinking. That would be a danger, wouldn't it?
What would?
Young people who think for themselves, the way I thought Johnny was beginning to.
Yes, tell us what happened concerning Jonathan.
Well, it seemed all right at first. I got him interested in all sorts of subjects he never thought he could be good at, even the piano, which he'd been brought up to regard as a waste of time.
Was it a sacrifice for you to give him extra tuition?
Oh, no, not at all.
How did the situation develop?
Well, I believed, until the end of last year. Then he came under the spell of a group of older boys. Johnny needed to belong somewhere. It was only natural that he should imitate their lifestyle. You have to understand, in his eyes, it had more to offer than I did.
Mr. Ingrams, is this really part of your defence?
I believe that your lordship will find that it is.
Yes, well, I wish I shared your confidence when you propose moving on to more central issues.
Very shortly, my lord.
Very well. I'm obliged to you for sharing the secret.
As I am to your lordship. Well, Mr. Frears, in what way did this new situation manifest itself?
It began when I found out Johnny was taking barbiturates.
How did you find out about that?
Because one day I discovered him with his face cut up. He told me the older boys had done it because he couldn't pay for them.
Who had done it?
I thought we agreed that wasn't necessary.
Well, do you know who had done it?
Yes, but if I gave you their names, it would merely create bitterness and make the situation worse.
I see, as you wish. Did you do anything about it?
Yes, I went to see his mother.
And what happened?
She said, in so many words, that it was the school's responsibility, not hers, and that Johnny wasn't the only child she had to worry about.
Ah, yes. Now, this is the occasion that Mrs. Ashe claims not to remember.
Yes.
Go on, please.
Well, I had hoped that being beaten up might do the trick and change Johnny's attitude. I know that sounds a bit cynical, but... Anyway, I was mistaken. If anything, it was the other way round. He hung on to the group even more.
Did the extra coaching continue?
No, he stopped that. And then... It was the old story all over again. He did no more homework. He became completely listless in class, except when he was joining in campaigns against me.
What kind of campaigns?
Oh, they're too numerous to relate.
Well, give us an example.
Well, when one section of the class starts humming, and as soon as you go across to them, they stop, and another section takes over. Makes you feel so helpless.
Did you attempt to do anything about this situation?
I went to talk to Johnny's parents again.
Ah, yes. Now, Mrs. Ashe has told us that on this occasion you were sweating, as if you'd been drinking. Now, is that true?
It's possible.
Could you be more explicit?
Well, it was the evening, do you see, when I went there, and they weren't at home. One of the neighbours on the estate told me that Mrs. Ashe had gone to the bingo club. They didn't know where the husband was, so I went to the nearest pub to wait.
And how much did you drink?
1 pint and a half.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes, because I don't drink normally. When I went back, they were both there, but Johnny was out, thank God. Then we started to talk.
Now, Mrs. Ashe has also testified that you were shouting during this conversation. Is that true?
Yes, but only because her husband was. He'd been drinking quite a lot. It was obvious that neither of them really wanted to know.
And what happened subsequently?
Well, as soon as I realized that, I was on my own. I could have tried disciplining Johnny, giving him detention, but that would have been futile.
Why?
Because if he'd attended, they'd have beaten him up.
How do you know that?
It was the normal pattern. He had no choice.
I see. Please continue.
Well, from then on, I knew that his individuality would have no more chance to develop. He'd just become a prey to the system. But what hurt was the fact that Johnny was acquiescing in his own fate, even laughing in my face over it.
Did you try talking to him?
Of course. But by then it was too late. He just began imitating my accent the way all the others do. I can't help the way I speak.
How many times did you talk to him?
3. But it's the easiest thing in the world to deny someone all possibility of communication.
Did you talk to him alone?
Yes. That's when I realized something. In the end, everything comes down to strength.
Would you explain that, please?
Well, do you see? I can't.
Well, please try.
As soon as Johnny realized that I was more concerned about him than he was himself, he became the dominant one. It gave him pleasure to cut all the wires one by one, knowing that it was I that wanted contact.
After all that you had done for him, you were hurt by that?
I shouldn't have been. People only hurt from fear or blindness or pride. Most of us can't live without that.
Can you?
After what I've done, I've got no choice.
Tell us what happened on March the 22nd.
That morning's music appreciation class was particularly bad. They only seemed to want to know about rock music, nothing else. And after it, when I came back with my coffee, both the speakers had gone.
What action did you take?
Well, I knew both Johnny and Trevor Adamson had been there all the time, having a cigarette. That room was a convenient place. So I asked them what had happened to my equipment. And Adamson said he never knew I had any.
And what did you take him to mean?
It was a sexual joke. But, when I asked them again, they just played dumb, as if they'd no idea what I was talking about. Then I asked Johnny to come next door.
Why?
Because all the time he was with Adamson, he just followed his lead. Even if he had given up the piano, deep down, I knew he really cared about music.
Did he tell you who had taken the speakers?
No, that would have been asking too much. All I wanted was for him to admit that he knew but couldn't help. For him to be honest with me. But even that...
What did you do next?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Because I can't remember.
Do you remember anything?
Nothing.
Mr. Frears, are you seriously telling this court that after the conversation with Jonathan Ashe, you remember nothing at all?
Yes, my lord.
You're aware 2 witnesses have testified that you were responsible for a violent assault.
Yes.
Do you believe them?
Yes.
Mr. Ingram, continue.
Mr. Frears, can you please tell us what are your first recollections after the conversation with Jonathan Ashe?
I remember being held down by Adamson and sweating, and him saying, "You stupid bastard," over and over, and then he got off me when the headmaster came, and Johnny had disappeared.
Do you remember anything else?
No, not really, except the head suspending me later that afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Frears.
You tell a harrowing tale, Mr. Frears, for which I'm sure you have our sympathy. However, it has nothing to do with the charge. I propose to be quite brief with you. Firstly, on the second occasion when you visited Mr. and Mrs. Ashe's home, you state, or rather it is claimed, that you said, "Johnny will regret it, I can assure you he will." Now, is that so?
Yes.
Nevertheless, you admit drinking a pint and a half of beer when normally you don't drink. You see, I suggested that you really don't remember what you said or what took place.
I do. It was Johnny's future at stake.
Really? Well, let's look at what occurred on March the 22nd. Apparently you remember Trevor Adamson's joke about your equipment.
I said so, didn't I?
Did you tell Jonathan Ashe that if he knew what was good for him, he'd tell you what had happened to the speakers?
I believe I said, if he knew what was best.
Well, your memory seems good enough to recall that fact, but not what happened a minute later.
Yes, that's right.
Extraordinary. Where were you standing when this blackout occurred?
Next to Johnny in the storeroom.
Now, how is it you know that?
I suppose
Yes?
because that's the last memory I have.
Do you not remember telling Jonathan Ashe that he'd have to learn that once you start smashing things, there's nothing that can't get smashed, including yourselves?
It's obvious. Destruction breeds destruction.
Do you recall telling us about Jonathan Ashe's patterns of behavior, how you knew which way he'd react in given situations?
Yes.
Is it really true?
Yes.
You must be quite a psychologist.
In a teacher, that's important.
Oh, yes. Useful at times, too.
What do you mean?
When you don't wish to be made to remember something you've done.
I can't remember. I've said so.
And we heard you.
It was the truth.
You say that you were the victim of a campaign of persecution by some pupils.
Yes.
No, surely, Mr. Friers, in most schools, it's quite normal for children to try and rag their teachers, isn't it? Wouldn't you say so?
I suppose so.
You
must
suppose so,
understand.
yes, thank you. Now, let me ask you something else. You've been a teacher all your life.
Almost.
Is it a good job?
You know what they say, it's like the Foreign Legion. We've got no past we want to talk about and no future we can.
Oh, in other words, you went into it because there was nothing better to do.
Have you ever tried living on a teacher's wage?
Nevertheless, you make it sound like a second-rate occupation.
It's a vocation. Don't you know that the illiteracy in this
Very well,
country
we'll
is...
take your word for it.
You asked the witness, Mr. Golding. Let him finish.
I'm sorry, my lord. Yes, Mr. Frears?
I just wanted to tell you, you see, that the illiteracy in this country is growing very fast. Most of the time we just concentrate on maintaining discipline. And if anyone learns anything, then that is a bonus. But on the other hand...
Yes, I think we've had enough of your educational theories, Mr. Frears.
All right. You make it impossible for me to explain anything.
Oh, that's not my intention, I assure you.
Oh, yes, it is. You don't want me to communicate.
Like Jonathan Ashe didn't want you to communicate. You see, Mr. Frears, I put it to you that on March the 22nd, you simply lost your temper, as you did just now. And that in a sudden outburst of uncontrollable rage, you struck a defenseless schoolboy with your fists, you half-throttled him, and when you got him to the ground, you kicked him in the chest. And I put it to you, this whole story of having suffered a blackout is just a highly convenient fabrication.
You are John Alexander Furness, and you live at 23 Free Lane, Willingdean.
That's correct.
You are the headmaster of Lyme End Comprehensive School.
I am.
Were you called to an incident at the school on March the 22nd?
Unfortunately.
Will you please tell the court what you witnessed?
Well, it was in the morning. I was in my office when John Ashe came running in.
You mean Jonathan?
Of course I do, excuse me. His mouth was bleeding very heavily, so I gave him a tissue and asked what had happened. He said Mr. Frears had attacked him in the storeroom. Naturally, I went straight there myself.
And how long did that take you?
Half a minute. It's very close.
What did you find there?
Mr. Frears was seated on the floor against the wall with a boy called Adamson standing over him.
Now, what was Mr. Frears' condition?
His head was down, almost on his chest, and he didn't move a muscle or even say anything. I thought...
Yes?
Well, frankly, I thought he was in a state of shock.
Oh, my lord, that's pure conjecture. The witness is not qualified to give such an opinion.
I think that's quite openly admitted, Mr. Golding. He was merely giving us a compendious statement of what he observed. I'm sure the jury appreciate that he is not a doctor.
My lord.
Mr. Ingrams?
Lord, please continue, Mr. Furness.
Well, I had a few words with Adamson, who confirmed what Ashe had told me. Then I told him to go and took Mr. Frears with me to my office. We had quite a long talk there. Missed my lunch, in fact. He sat there shaking his head most of the time, and when I told him what he was supposed to have done, he just didn't believe it. Said he had no idea what had happened to him.
He said he had no idea what had happened to him.
Oh, yes, he kept repeating, "You know I wouldn't harm Jonathan." I don't like to say this, but he even cried at one stage. Finally, I told him to go home for the day, and after thinking it over for a while, I phoned to let him know I'd decided to suspend him for his own good.
Tell me, Mr. Furness, what are conditions generally like at the school?
Average. We do our best, but it's always a battle.
Against what?
Well, apathy, mainly. We've had a 7% rise in truancy this year. Then there's the inevitable vandalism. That's usually just a matter of lights getting smashed and windows, but it means keeping a full-time carpenter to replace them, and even so, they're often smashed again the day after.
Do you have any idea as to the causes?
I can tell you one.
Mr. Ingrams, we seem to be straying from the point once again.
Well, Lord, I'm attempting to indicate to the jury the conditions of stress under which my client was working at Lyme End.
Very well, but please be brief.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Furness?
We should never have raised the leaving age to 16. I know Mr. Frears disagrees with me on this, but when the number of teachers is dropping all the time and you're forced to keep on a majority of alienated, hostile pupils, well, in a class of 35, they just poison the whole atmosphere and cripple the rest.
Is Jonathan Ashe such a pupil?
Without question. And if they don't wish to stay, they should be left to go their own way. Frankly, I'm coming round to the belief that some form of elitism is inevitable in our society, natural even, because at the moment, ours is just a holding operation.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I used to think my job was to teach, but nowadays I spend most of it on the phone to the probation people and the police. I've tried everything, detention, suspension, you name it.
With success?
I'm afraid there's no way except more control through tougher penalties. It's pointless being sentimental with the young because they're not sentimental themselves.
Are you and Mr. Frears at one on this point?
No, his approach is, let's say, different.
How long have you known him?
About 8 years.
Does he have a good record?
Certainly.
Have you ever received any kind of complaint against him?
On the contrary, Tom's always taken on remedial classes, or rather he used to, in maths, for example, where you end up just teaching basic English.
Mr. Furness, are certain pupils at your school in the habit of carrying knives?
Well, yes.
To your knowledge, has Jonathan Ashe ever carried a knife?
Yes.
How did you discover this?
I once had to make him turn out his pockets.
Do you remember when?
The beginning of March.
In fact, just a few weeks before Mr. Frears assaulted him.
Yes.
What were the circumstances?
I regret to say some of the junior boys have money extorted from them by seniors. We'd stop it if we could, but they're almost always afraid to say anything.
Well, go on, please.
Well, we know Ash was one of the victims, but we hadn't realised that he'd started doing the same thing to boys younger than himself.
Do you have any explanation for this?
Not precisely.
Are drugs connected with it?
I suppose they are.
Mr. Furness, have you ever had reason to summon Trevor Adamson to your office?
Well, yes.
What reason?
It was a disciplinary matter.
Concerning what?
I didn't think this was necessary.
Order, my lord. It serves no possible purpose.
Mr. Ingrams?
As I intimated to your lordship a moment ago, it is directly relevant to my client's state of mind at the material time.
Very well, if you will keep it brief.
Certainly, my lord. Now, Mr. Furness, what was the reason?
If you must know, I had him up for selling barbiturates. But Mr. Frears had no business telling you that. His first duty is to the school.
Not anymore.
It would be extremely damaging if that sort of thing were to be revealed.
And it would be more than damaging to my client if it were concealed. Why wasn't this reported to the police?
It's better dealt with inside the school.
Yes, the whole thing presents a pretty bleak picture, doesn't it?
Yes, and the situation's getting worse. It's a spiral that's getting smaller all the time. You see, it's not just that things are changing faster, but that the rate of acceleration itself is increasing, and there's no way we can keep up with it. Teachers, social workers, planners, none of us.
One final question, Mr. Furness. From your knowledge of Trevor Adamson and Jonathan Ashe, would you regard them as honest?
In my experience, Adamson is not a particularly honest person, no.
And Jonathan Ashe?
Slightly more so, perhaps.
Thank you, Mr. Furness.
How many times have you met Jonathan Ashe?
Twice.
And Trevor Adams?
The same.
And you're prepared to give us an opinion based on that?
It's not my job to follow up every one of 2,000 pupils. I rely on what my staff tell me.
Well, for your sake, I hope they're more reliable than Mr. Frears.
Spare us your personal observations, Mr. Golding.
My lord. Now, let's go back for a moment to March the 22nd. When in your office you told Mr. Frears what he'd done, you say that he didn't believe it.
Quite correct. He was horrified because he couldn't remember.
Or so he said. Did you believe him?
I think so.
Did you or didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Then why did you dismiss him later that day?
I didn't.
I thought you said that you...
I said I suspended him.
Nevertheless, he was dismissed the same week.
No, he resigned.
Well, we won't argue over words when the events speak for themselves.
Tom Frears was a fine teacher. He did it for the good of the school.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Would it be fair to say that you're a person who believes in the traditional values of education?
Yes, it would.
Now, what does that mean, exactly?
It means I don't believe in anarchy. The truth is, if you offer a reasoned argument to young people, that's just an invitation to them to reject it. But if you give them a fact, they have no choice but to accept it.
And is that Mr. Frears' view?
No, he tended to treat them almost as equals.
And what were the practical results of such an attitude?
I don't like to criticize a colleague.
Oh, come, Mr. Furness, you answered my learned friend very frankly. You are under oath. What were the consequences?
Well, there's a risk of becoming emotionally involved with some pupils.
And did that happen to Mr. Frears?
I'm afraid so, and because of it, he sometimes overreacted in situations where a professional shouldn't.
He sometimes overreacted in situations where a professional shouldn't, yes. What does that mean, exactly?
Were you ever in the army?
No, I wasn't.
Well, there are situations in which a civilian will panic, but a soldier will control himself no matter what the provocation. Take Northern Ireland.
Yes, but from your experience, would you say that many teachers are tempted to hit out at times under provocation?
Almost all of us, but that's part of the job. You don't give in to it.
You may not have, Mr. Furness. Thank you.
Does your lordship have any further questions? Thank you, Mr. Furness. You may leave the witness box. My lord, I call Dr. William Greenberg. You are William Ernst Greenberg of 39 Lancing Court, Fulchester.
Yes.
You are consultant psychiatrist at St. James's Hospital, and you have also worked at the Johns Hopkins Institute in Baltimore. You are the author of Mechanisms of Dissociation.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg, what is your connection with the defendant?
He's been my patient for 3 years.
Now, Dr. Greenberg, in order that the jury may follow clearly the questions I'm about to put to you, would you please tell us very simply what, in your opinion, occurred on March the 22nd?
Well, Thomas assaulted a child. Of that there's no doubt. And in doing so, I believe he experienced a state of what we call, if you forgive the terms, hysterical amnesia.
Yes, could you please explain that term to the jury?
Certainly. It suggests that for a brief moment his body was no longer the servant of his mind.
Do you mean his conscious mind?
Of course. The other part is always present. In me, in you, whether we admit it or not.
Dr. Greenberg, are you saying that Mr. Frears was not responsible for his actions?
No more as if you kill an insect in your sleep.
The case of the Queen against Friers will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. Thomas Frears, a teacher at Lime End Comprehensive School, used to give spare time tuition to one of his pupils, Jonathan Ashe. Ashe gave up this arrangement shortly after coming into contact with a group of older boys dominated by Trevor Adamson, who supplied Ashe with drugs. Frears became the object of a campaign of victimization, and following a classroom incident, now stands charged with assaulting the younger boy. He claims to have no memory of the incident. Today, the court is hearing evidence from Dr. William Greenberg, for 3 years, Frears' psychiatrist.
Thomas's father was an alcoholic who, to put it quite simply, brutalized his wife and children over a long period of years. During it, one incident in particular happened, which was so shocking for the boy that he repressed all memory of it.
Now, what was that incident?
It was the occasion when the father beat up his mother, and he himself was too frightened to try to help her. Mr. Frears was 9 at the time.
Yes, please go on.
Well, although the father died very early, the influence, of course, remained. The boy grew up with what one might call a double, or better still, a twin aversion to excessive alcohol, or any situation of victimization as he saw it. It is worth remembering that the father was a large man, whereas he himself, as you can see, is not.
Yes, now, Dr. Greenberg, when you say any situation of victimization, what exactly do you mean?
Well, when Tom was 15, by the way, it is no coincidence that Jonathan Ashe is exactly the same age. He became involved in a group of boys very much tougher than himself. That's why he aspired to join them. One day he was called upon to take part in the torturing of a younger boy. They had the child trapped. There was no danger of discovery. But when it was Tom's turn to hit him, he suddenly became ataxic.
Ataxic? Could you explain that, please?
It means loss of muscular control in the limb, as when one is very drunk. In Tom's case, he lost use of his right arm over 48 hours.
It was paralyzed?
No. The neurologist ruled that out. There was nothing physically wrong with him.
What then?
Well, Tom was in a cleft stick. He didn't want to join in, yet had he refused, he most likely would have been beaten up himself. By becoming ill, he was excused from taking part in the victimization.
Yes, now, of course, you didn't know him at this time, did you?
No, but I have spoken to the psychiatrist to whom he was referred to. Now, several years later, an incident happened in which a very similar pattern is visible. When Tom was 24, he attended a bullfight. Once again, there's the identical situation. The beast was trapped just as the boy had been, and for Tom there was no escape either. He didn't want to watch what was being done, yet was forced to, because he was completely surrounded by the crowd. What he did was to withdraw from reality by blacking out, to use a lay term, and it was in that condition that he started lashing out against the hands that were pushing him towards the exit.
I see. Now, were there any further incidents of this nature?
Not until March 22nd of this year, as far as I'm aware.
What, in your opinion, happened on that occasion?
Well, first you must understand what led up to it. It seems to me that Thomas saw a great deal of himself in Jonathan Ashe and came to supplement many of his own feelings and hopes in the boy. It began by their mutual interest in music. The fact that Ashe was bullied and being sold drugs to which were closely connected, in Tom's mind, to alcohol. It is the classic situation of victimization once more, except this time the victim himself welcomed it and was beginning to do the same thing to others.
Now, what about the assault itself?
Very simple. Mr. Frears knew that Ashe knew where the gramophone speakers were very well, that he was trapped. He had either to give up questioning the boy and be seen to have failed, or carry on and suffer continuous what you call dumb insolence. Well, either way he faced ridicule. So he resorted to what all humans come down to in the end, violence.
Now, Dr. Greenberg, this is extremely important. What do you think was the state of Thomas Frears' mind?
Well, judging from what the witnesses observed, that he hit out without warning, was shaking and gasping like some child, you know, it was said, then became quiet as a mouse, suddenly, not speaking, not moving. And from what he himself had told me, I believe that Thomas was in a condition of blackout, parallel to the one he experienced in the bull ring.
Yes, what kind of blackout?
Well, not the kind that's normally meant by that phrase. I'm talking about a phenomenon known as hysterical amnesia, which means that by blacking out, the conscious mind dissociates itself from the pressure of desires of the subconscious. In Tom's case, to harm a boy he was fond of.
One moment. Dr. Greenberg, do you mean he did what really he did not want to do?
Oh, no, he did what he wanted, but was inhibited from doing by his own principles. For this it was necessary for his conscious brain to cut out realization. That's why he couldn't remember anything afterwards. He had, you might say, copped out.
Are you saying that at that moment he was an automaton?
I couldn't say that's a legal phrase.
But you understand it, do you not?
Oh, yes, but I feel it doesn't encompass the complexity of this case. Now, it's hysterical amnesia that I would call it.
Continue, Mr. Ingrams.
Dr. Greenberg, when the defendant assaulted Jonathan Ashe, did he or did he not, in your opinion, know what he was doing?
I say he did not.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Greenberg, I suggest to you that in reality, Mr. Frears simply cracked under pressure.
I may have done it, but there's more to it than that.
Tell me, when did he first remember the incident concerning his father and mother, which you say had been repressed?
After a year with me.
After 1 year with you. Yes, I see. And the incident in which he's supposed to have lost the use of his right arm, this you say was induced psychologically?
Oh, yes, it is quite common, even in animals. There's the case of the dog that developed paralysis in its hind legs when it felt that its owner's affection were being diverted by the arrival of a baby.
Really? You amaze me.
I didn't know anything could.
Let's go on to the episode in the bull ring. Now, according to you, Mr. Frears had a phobia about victimization.
Yes.
It wasn't rather strange that he should have gone to the bull ring in the first place?
Oh, I agree with you, but it can be explained.
Oh, then we'll simply have to take your word for it, won't we? Just as you tell us that Mr. Frears had a phobia about alcohol.
He does.
Well, how do you explain the fact that he drank 1.5 pints of beer before going to see Mr. and Mrs. Ashe?
It was because he both feared yet wanted that kind of strength.
Yes, well, going on to the so-called blackout that's supposed to have taken place on March the 22nd of this year, Mr. Frears is 39 now, and when the bull ring incident occurred, he was 24, 15 years ago. Now, in psychological terms, isn't that an inordinately long interval to elapse between episodes?
Frankly, yes.
Well, how do you explain that?
Well, he built up a mechanism of defense that withstood everything until the provocation he received this year.
What provocation?
What provocation? I doubt if you ever experienced provocation of that kind.
At least I have never assaulted a 15-year-old child, Dr. Greenberg. Now, bearing in mind the first two presidents you've described, how do you account for the fact that Mr. Frears' reaction then was non-violent, whereas on March the 22nd, his reaction was extremely violent?
You don't call ataxis and blacking out a violent reaction?
I'm sure if I was Jonathan Ashe, I wouldn't.
I understood we were discussing the accused's mind, not the victim's.
Quite, and I'm asking you to explain to us why, on this occasion, His reaction was one which had not occurred previously.
Oh, it is puzzling. I believe that Thomas slowly became aware that the violence that was within him, ever since he was a boy, was coming to the surface. Really, it was the desire to hit his own father, and later became stronger than his fears.
He became aware of it?
Yes.
How?
Through me.
Of course. But if he really loathed aggression, as you say, why did he attack Jonathan Ashe, the very victim of it?
I'm glad you mentioned it. It is a crucial point. You see, the boy came to collaborate in his victimization, imitating his victimizers, even laughing at Thomas's attempt to help him. Now, I know this may be difficult for you to understand, but Thomas felt just as impotent in Ashe's presence as he used to in his father's.
We can take it there's no question of insanity here, can we?
It depends what you mean.
Oh, come now, Doctor. One either is insane or one is not insane.
It is said that when a man walks along the street talking to himself, he is mad. But if he walks along talking to his wife, who isn't listening, then he is normal.
I meant legally insane.
Oh, no. Legally, Mr. Frears was no more insane than most epileptics.
Thank you. Well, now we've established that fact, I would like to find out what substance there is in your somewhat melodramatic phrase, hysterical amnesia.
Oh, the condition has other names. Hysterical conversion, dissociative conversion.
Yes, never mind, it's the word hysterical which interests me. Now, my aunt used to become hysterical at the sight of a rat. I suppose she wasn't legally responsible for her behavior either?
I wouldn't dream to advise you on her legal status.
But clinically speaking?
I'm afraid I couldn't say without seeing her.
Yes, I rather thought you might say that.
But I will answer your question. You see, hysterical to a layman means histrionic. To us, it signifies the ability to dissociate, which is quite common in people with certain types of personality disorder.
There's no doubt.
Please let me finish.
As you please.
Certainly, hysterics tend to over-dramatize, but it is because they see incidents in terms of black and white, life or death even. So you see, your definition and mine may overlap, but that's all.
Isn't it a fact that hysterics retain and take refuge in the child part of their personality?
It is.
Are you acquainted with what is known as the little professor syndrome?
Yes.
Would you please explain that to the court?
Well, it points out that small children have a sharp perception of how to manipulate adults by observing their reaction to certain behavior. For tears, for example.
In other words, they're cunning.
Sometimes they have more insight than a trained psychiatrist.
And because of this, is it true that many hysterics are pathological liars who are capable of, to put it bluntly, taking their analyst for a ride?
Now, you're talking about a type known as hysterica pseudologia, to which the defendant does not belong.
I wonder. When did you first use the term hysterical amnesia to him?
I know what you would like to hear. But my suspicion was not confirmed until after what happened on the 22nd of March. I had never mentioned it to him before.
And would it be true to say that you're a Freudian psychologist, Doctor?
A Freudian analyst, yes.
Now, would it also be true to say that modern psychiatry has gone far beyond what you practice?
Oh, that also.
For example, where you say a person is the prisoner of his traumas, they might say he was copping out of his responsibility.
True.
But that's just the word you used to describe the defendant's actions on March the 22nd, yourself.
Oh, very possibly.
Yes, we'd all like to cop out of our responsibilities if we could, would we not, Doctor?
You are Mrs. Caroline Judd of 11 Maiden Lane, Fulchester.
Yes.
You are the defendant's sister.
Yes.
And you are a probation officer.
That's right.
Yes. Mrs. Judd, can you recall any significant event that happened to your brother when he was 15?
Very well.
Would you please tell the court about it?
Well, I was only 11 at the time, but he came home one day very late. Must have been 4 or 5 in the morning. My father was already dead by then, and Mum sat up worrying all night. I was in bed, of course, so I didn't get to see Tom till the morning. One of his arms was paralysed. It stayed that way for a couple of days.
Completely paralysed?
I can't remember now. I think so.
I should now like to ask you about a holiday, some years later, in Spain. Now, do you recall that?
Yes. We used to go round together a lot then. It was just after Mum had died. We went to this bullfight in Tarragona. Everyone was drinking from wineskins, passing them round, insisting we had to drink, and laughing at Tom when he refused.
And what happened?
Well, we were all crammed in the cheap seats in the sun, with this bull right in front of us. And I saw Tom was staring straight ahead of him, looking like Well, like I don't know what.
His eyes were open.
Oh, yes. So I asked him if he was all right. And then the Spaniard next to us suddenly started shouting to everyone that Tom was ill and pushed him out towards the gangway. And then they all lent a hand.
And how did your brother react?
Well, in a daze at first. He just let them push him. And then about halfway along the row, he started lashing out as though they were trying to kill him, which they nearly did after that.
And what was the outcome of the struggle?
Tom suddenly went limp and let them get him with his arm behind his back. While everyone was shouting at him, he just kept asking me what had happened. Then the police arrived. They knocked him about quite a bit too. In fact, he'd have spent the night in jail if I hadn't called the British consul.
What kind of person is your brother, Mrs. Judd?
I wouldn't say this except in court. Tom's a social isolate. He's never really had a girlfriend. He lives with my husband and myself.
Did you notice anything in particular about his behaviour just prior to the events of March the 22nd?
Yes. He was depressed. More than that, by the way the kids had reacted to the school leaving age being raised to 16. And when you remember, it was only just after the war they got it up to 15.
Yes. Did he ever mention Jonathan Ashe?
Yes. I think Jonathan's future meant more to him than it did to most other people, including Jonathan himself. But there was nothing he could do inside the setup they have at Lime End, especially with a reactionary like John Furness as head.
One final question, Mrs. Judd. Did you ever discuss with your brother the possibility of him giving up his job?
Yes, at one stage he did consider taking a job at some comfortable private school. I'm glad he didn't, even after what's happened.
Thank you, Mrs. Judd.
Stay there for a moment, if you will, Mrs. Judd.
I was just getting my bag. I have been in court before.
Yes, I can see that, which is why I want to put one or two things you've said into perspective. Now, for example, you say your brother felt depressed about the apathy created in raising the school leaving age.
That's right.
Well, can you tell me one teacher who isn't?
With Tom, it was more than that.
Oh, he's the special case, is he?
I'd like to give you a statistic, if I may.
By all means, if you think it's relevant.
25% of workers in America are in jobs that are going to become redundant simply because of the way technology advances. And we're going in the same direction.
I fail to see your point, if you have one.
Ask Tom. If those people had had more education, they wouldn't be left on the rubbish heap.
Well, I'm sure none of us are prepared to quarrel with you. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about something more relevant. The evidence you've given concerning 2 incidents involving your brother. Now, in the first of them, did he tell you how his arm had become paralysed?
He seemed to be ashamed of it. He said it had come on in the cinema. We knew that was a lie, but Tom just didn't want to talk about it.
Does your brother often lie?
That's quite unfair.
You say you were 11 then, is that right?
Yes.
And at the time of the second incident?
I was 20.
And after you noticed Mr. Frears' blacked-out condition, how long was it before he started to hit out at the other spectators?
About 30 seconds.
And between then and the arrival of the police?
I'd say it was... I'm not sure anymore.
Well, nevertheless, your memory's remarkably good, isn't it?
In what way?
Well, the way everything ties up without a dot or a dash out of place. I mean, for example, Dr. Greenberg said that your brother lashed out, and I notice you used the identical phrase.
So?
Well, normally a theory is supposed to fit the facts, but here we seem to have a series of facts designed to fit a theory.
What theory?
A theory of your brother's illness.
I'm a liar, in other words.
Well, let's just say that your concern for his well-being is very clear. I don't think the jury will have any trouble in deciding what to believe.
Whatever they decide, it won't get my brother his job back, will it?
Indeed not. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a great deal of apparently sincere testimony on behalf of the accused. A moment ago from Mrs. Judd. She is his sister. I won't say any more. As for Dr. Greenberg, well, at the most charitable level, all one can say is that his opinions are speculative. And even supposing his opinions were to be true, he himself admits that this is an abnormal case. And if the facts were true, why did the accused continue in his work? Indeed, why did Dr. Greenberg allow the accused to continue teaching if he knew that such a potentially dangerous explosion of violence were possible? Now, Mr. Frears, whatever else he may be, is an intelligent man. And I would suggest to you that he understands quite well the defence that has been put forward on his behalf. Indeed, he has no other choice, because when all is said and done, this is a simple case. He assaulted a 15-year-old pupil and would have gone on had he not been prevented from doing so by Trevor Adamson. Now, if this were an isolated incident, one might perhaps feel more sympathetic, but the fact is that shortly before it, he went to see the boy's parents and threatened him to their faces. Now, I'm aware, just as you are, of the adverse conditions under which Mr. Frears had to work, but you're not asked to judge him or condemn him as a human being, only to try him on this charge of assault. Now, like many people, he had a difficult and at times frustrating job. But the difference is, most people don't take out their frustrations on children. Thank you.
Members of the jury, you have been asked to believe that the defendant's assault on Jonathan Ashe was premeditated on the basis of some alleged threat supposedly made in the presence of the boy's mother. Yet we discover that once in the witness box, Mrs. Ashe can no longer remember exactly what was said. Moreover, she agrees that Mr. Frears' remarks may well have been friendly ones, indeed made with Jonathan's best interests at heart. Why on earth should Mr. Frears have battled on at Lyme End, struggling against vandalism, apathy, violence? And why should he have devoted time to giving Jonathan extra tuition? Precisely because of his great concern for Jonathan's future. Let me now ask you to consider the events of the 22nd of March. Now, the defendant was faced with the disappearance of valuable school equipment in his care and a conspiracy of silence, which the word provocation is hardly adequate to describe, and he assaulted Jonathan Ashe. Now, remember that both boys agreed that he appeared not to be in control of himself. The prosecution has tried to dismiss as mere speculation Dr. Greenberg's specialist opinion that at the time of the assault, Mr. Frears was suffering from a condition known as hysterical amnesia. And it's quite clear that had Trevor Adamson not intervened, Mr. Frears would have continued to attack Jonathan. Now, to lose one's temper is one thing. I suggest that this situation was quite another. Unlike you or I, Thomas Frears is a man perhaps inadequate, perhaps not, who at a moment of great stress and under extreme provocation, examples of which you have observed in the witness box, did something which his conscious mind, his everyday mind, refused to accept. And it refused to accept it by temporarily blacking out. Now, no one, least of all Mr. Frears himself, wishes to excuse what he did. And it is on the basis not of sentiment or sympathy, but of rigorous clinical diagnosis that I ask you to acquit him. Thank you.
Members of the jury, this has been a long and difficult trial. Nevertheless, there are some tasks which you will not be asked to perform. One of them is to judge whether or not the accused was a good teacher, or whether or not his role has been of benefit to society. The defense that has been raised by him is known under the law as automatism. Now, in order to be guilty of a crime, a person must not merely commit a wrongful act, but he must be aware and understand the nature of what he is doing, or, if you like, must be capable of distinguishing between right and wrong, as, for an example, an insane person is not. Now, the claim of automatism, the accused simply claims that he had no knowledge whatsoever of what he was doing, that his body acted independently of his conscious mind, so that he was literally an automaton. Now, an example of a case like this is the example of a driver in a car who was attacked by a swarm of bees. So instinctive was his reaction to defend himself that he was held not to be liable for the death of someone that he inadvertently ran over. Now, you will, of course, consider very carefully the evidence of Mr. Frears' behavior during and after the assault. For instance, the fact that his claim not to remember it was made not merely here in court, but only a few moments after the assault. Now, if it was a lie, ask yourself if such a lie was probable. For, finally, the burden of proof rests with the prosecution. It is for them to convince you that the accused was consciously aware of what he was doing and was not acting involuntarily. Now, if you should have any reasonable doubt as to that, then, of course, you must acquit. Now, members of the jury, will you kindly retire to consider your verdict?
All stand. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you're all agreed?
Yes.
Do you find the accused, Thomas Frears, guilty or not guilty on the charge of assault occasioning actual bodily harm?
Not guilty.
Thomas Frears, you are free to go.
All stand.
Join us again when our cameras return to bring you another leading case in the Crown Court.